Oh, here we go. I played this game on August 6th, so that was last Thursday. And of course, I only play this game on my lunch breaks on my phone because I can't really do it on my PC anymore. Yeah, this right here was just out of my standard repertoire, nothing crazy. The results of it show that this was arguably my best game of all time. I'm gonna review it, hopefully find something I can improve on, and well, maybe solidify this in my repertoire permanently. All that said, this game came out of an Alapin Sicilian. It is an Alapin because of this move C3. I mean, you could say from this move order it is a delayed Alapin because he has played knight f3 and I've played knight c6, but end of the day, it all transposes to the same thing. Against c3, there really are two moves. First, we have to understand the downside of c3. It's that now your knight cannot come to this square. With that in mind, well, you're going to have some weaker squares now, all the highlighted ones. Now, really, we don't have a way to take control of a4, so we're not going to look at that. e4 is a square. There's not really much to say about it right now. I wouldn't really worry about b5, but really what we want is control of d5. That right there. So there really are two ways to punish this move. One of them is d5, and then the other is knight f6. In the past, I played d5 quite a bit, but what I came to find was that white could easily trade off pieces, and then they just have the tempo advantage in a fairly equal middle game and end game. I've never been a huge fan of equality, so I try to fight for something. In my opinion, the best way to do it is to play knight f6. In this game, I played knight f6. Now, of course, I am threatening his pawn. He can't really support it with his knight. So what can he do? Well, he can play e5. And when he does this, now he's attacking my knight, so I have to move it. In my English repertoire, I would play a move like, well, in this case it's knight g4, but I would play knight g5. I think I can show that right now. If you start with e5, and then they push, then you can play this, double attacking the pawn. That doesn't really work for black in the opening I played. I'm going to get rid of all that. You can't really play this, you're just down a tempo. Really the only difference is this move c3, but it makes all the difference when queen moves are on the board. Truthfully, I don't know why you shouldn't play this. Yeah, the safer and the better move by far is to just play knight d5. After that, of course, white's going to play d4. That's kind of the whole point of c3, is supporting the square. So after black captures, white can recapture. Everything's good in the center. Now against this, I like to play the move d6. I mean, really, what can white do right now? They can take, after which I'll take back. They can push, after which I take a free pawn. They can ignore it altogether, in which case we just trade pieces off and we're back where we started. But what white opted for this game was to take the pawn, so he did, and I took back with the queen. So in my mind, this just looks like a great position for me. I mean, I've moved 2 knights, he's only moved 1. He has a pawn in the center of the board, but it's about to be twice attacked. It's an isolated queen's pawn, meaning there's no support from the e-pawn, no support from the d-pawn. It's just here all by itself. So I want to fight against that. It is white's move after all. We'll let them move. They played knight c3. If I remember correctly, the engine said you should play a move like bishop g4. Or you should play, I don't know, maybe a6 was a move. Najdorf-like. But for me, the comfortable move, which gets me one step closer to castling, is the move g6. That's what I played, and I think this was the one inaccuracy I had. You'll notice even after I make this move, it's still an equal evaluation. If I were to play something like bishop g4 though, I mean, I have 1/10 of a point. 2/10 of a point. Let's be real, that's nothing. And hey, would you look at that, it is nothing. Engine can talk all it wants. I'm going to play g6. Now he plays bishop c4. My knight is twice attacked. I do need to do something about it. And well, really, you can go back to knight f6. Knight c7 is a move, but when the bishop is on c4 like this, recently I've been playing the move knight b6, just attacking it right back. Now, he went from twice attacking my knight to his bishop being attacked. He must retreat, so he does. And then after he retreats, then I get to move my bishop, so I'm now one step closer to castling. He plays bishop e3, which is a pretty standard move. Not really much to say about it, other than that the engine thinks it sucks. Now I'm human, so I don't know why, and we're just gonna leave it at that. I castle. That was my goal for the past couple moves. And he castles too. Now, you'll notice that black has the edge. Really, I think the advantage here is that white again has this isolated queen's pawn, and it's not very clear how he's going to push this forward. And even if he does push it forward, what good does that do? All my pieces are in prime position to fight against it. I didn't know what to do here really, so I just played bishop g4, pins the knight to the queen, it connects rooks. That's really all there is to it. He attacks, so we trade. Queen's on f3, no big deal. But now you'll notice that his pawn is triple attacked and only once defended. Naturally, there's no better move here than to take that pawn. Now before we do that, let's look at his only threat right now. The only thing wrong here that I can do, really, is to move this rook. Every other move in my mind is perfectly fine. As long as we don't move the rook, we are fine. Anyways, back to the undefended pawn. I do take it. I take it with my knight, creating a fork on two light square attackers. So really, there's nothing better for him to do right now than to take my knight. And he does. Now, I have two options for recapturing this bishop. I can take it with my own, or I can take it with my queen. If I take with my bishop, he will pin it. And I'd rather avoid that altogether, so I'll take with my queen. That's really as simple as the logic gets there. Now, there was a downside to that move. He was able to take my pawn on b7. You'll notice my queen side is kind of frozen right now. This pawn is only defended by this rook. This rook, well, it can't move because it's defending the pawn. If the pawn moves, well, then the knight is only defended by a queen. If the queen gets attacked, well, then what? Can't move the pawn, can't move the rook. Can I move the knight? Well, it can't go here, can't go here. I mean, it could, but it gets lost. It can't really go here because, again, solely defended by a queen. It's generally not a good idea. So I can't really move any of these three pieces. This pawn right here is under attack, so I probably should defend it somehow. My method of doing so is to play e6. Not only does this defend my undefended e-pawn, it now creates a stronger defense for this weak f7 pawn. So everything's good. He attacks my queen as expected, and I just retreat to the side. h4 is more prime of an attacking square, so if I ever get a bishop here, now I get to attack his f7 pawn. He plays queen f3. Don't ask me why, I really don't know. And then I play a5. The idea is simple. I want to push the pawn, get rid of it, liquidate. Just hold a nice defensive structure on the king side. He moves his queen again, attacking my knight. And well, I could defend it, but I found this better idea. Just push the pawn. And I take back all my previous comments about that mistake earlier. This was the mistake. If he takes, I take, and now I'm down a pawn. I think that's it. So he takes, I take, he takes, I'm down a pawn. But I have counterplay, so it's not the worst thing ever. Equal position as long as I maintain some sort of objective here. He retreats the queen, I pin the knight, he plays a3, I take his knight, he has to recapture with the pawn, after which we're back to an equal position. Now the imbalance here is that he has a c-pawn, it is completely isolated, I only have kingside pawns. Otherwise we both have two rooks, we both have two queens, we both have four pawns, and we both have kings on the back rank G square, whatever you want to call it. So you'll notice after I take this a pawn, well, this pawn is twice attacked. So naturally he has to defend it, and he does. I'm now triple attacking this pawn. The only way for him to support it is to play rook c1. Well, he doesn't do that, and you'll notice the engine initially thinks that that is some sort of a mistake. I take his rook, he takes mine. We're back in this equalish game. I'm now twice attacking his pawn, and then he drops it. Cool. So I'm up a pawn. Even though I am up a pawn, it's still a draw in an endgame because all pawns are on the same side of the board. Perfect play. This is a draw every day of the week. So now we do our little dance. I have to move my king to the center of the board. That's the only way my pawns get some sort of action here. Well, I guess I'll explain what I was doing with my pawns. First, I wanted to prevent g4. I don't really mind h4 because then I can create some sort of play here. But if he gets g4, well then, now what do? I mean, I can push here, but then, I mean, this pawn's always defended. If I can prevent g4, I prevent all the mental headaches. Now he does the one thing I think white can do here and attack my f-pawn. All that does is prevents my knight, or not my knight, my king from going forward to any of these squares right off the bat. Well, I push my e-pawn. I kind of want to bait him into moving his rook. And I mean, it's always good to push pawns up the board. End of the day, this game is a game of tempo. So if you get the initiative now, it will pay its dividends later. So I push my e-pawn, he pushes his king. It's all going to plan. Rook here to cut off the king, keep him from coming forward. I was also kind of hoping he would play f3 so I can push his king back. He moves his rook here, and this was one of the moves I couldn't really explain. I play king e6. This now gives me options. I can play f5 if I wanted to. I can play f6, which is what I end up doing later. Not really much to talk about. And I don't know what this move does either, so I just keep pushing up the board. Now again, earlier I intentionally played the move h5 to prevent the move g4. If he were to push right now, I would take, he would do this, and then, I mean, he'd still have a g-pawn, but I can always go here. My king is further up the board than his. Again, this is an endgame that should be a draw. Preventing g4 was my primary objective here. And while he forfeits that opportunity completely by playing h4, he gives me a symmetrical structure which makes the advantage clear that I have the e-pawn, I need to do something with it. I play f6 just to get rid of a weakness. I don't really want him attacking that. I would like my king to be in proximity of all my pawns. And well, that concludes the game because he timed out after this. I'm not sure where he went. I think he just saw the extra pawn that I had, got demotivated, or maybe he was at work and his boss told him to go do something. All that being said, this game was arguably my best game of all time, one of the higher rated opponents I played, 2048. And well, this is by no means my best opening. It's actually one I struggled with quite a bit, but somehow I was prepared enough to be able to play a decent amount of theory, to the point that once I am here, I get to play a comfortable game. So, all that said, this was one for the books. Let me know if you enjoy this type of stuff. Because really, right now, I'm just making it for myself, it seems. But yeah, this was a game I enjoyed. I figured someone out there would too. Just good stuff overall. That's really all there was to it. See you next time.